Hi, so today we are going to have a conversation about the exams, JAM and JEST, and further exams. So, Amit, hi. So, can you tell us about this JAM and JEST exam? What is it exactly, and who write these exams?
Yeah, sure. So basically, students who have done their BSc or who are doing their BTech, the final year of BTech and BSc, who have decided to pursue a career in physics or other sciences like chemistry, math, etc. If they want to do an MSc in their respective subjects, if they write the exam JAM and if they clear it, they can go for an MFE in the IITs, one of the IITs or one of the NITs.
Okay.
The exam JEST is for entrance for integrated PhD course in some of the premier research institutes in India.
Okay.
Some examples of these are Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Bombay, the various ISERs, ISER Pune, ISER Kolkata, IISc, and there are several famous institutes like this.
Okay.
So for integrated PhD, JEST is the exam to go for.
Okay.
And then there are some additional exams that individual institutes take. So for example, TIFR has their own exam in addition to JEST, which they call TIFR GS, GS for graduate school. And IUCA, for example, also has their own exam. The IUCA also takes through JEST, and in addition to JEST, they have their own exams.
So, Amit, you had got the All India Rank 1 in JEST 2015.
That's right. Yeah.
So, can you tell us about, and you were a BTech graduate.
That's right.
You made a shift into
Yes.
physics, right? So, I'm sure there would be students in their BScs thinking what to do next.
Yeah.
And even in their BTech, some of them who want to go into physics, maths, chemistry, and sciences.
Yeah.
So, is this shift, was this a difficult shift for you? Can you talk about your experience? How it
Not at all, actually. Of course, when I was in my fourth year, I did my BTech in mechanical engineering at NIT Calicut. So, when I was in my fourth year, I knew I wanted to pursue physics, but I had no idea how to do it. So, basically, I approached some of my seniors who had made the same shift, and they told me that all these exams were available. But of course, I had no training in the typical physics BSc and MSc syllabus.
Okay.
So I took a year off after my fourth year and prepared for these exams.
Okay.
And that 1 year of preparation was more or less sufficient to actually do well in these exams.
Okay.
So definitely for BSc graduates, even if they feel that in their college first and second year they haven't prepared well enough, just an year or 6 to 9 months of training itself is sufficient to qualify these exams.
Okay. Nice. So it feels like a whole lot of exams. But is it, at least in 11th, 12th, even though there are a lot of exams, broadly the syllabus is the same. Right. How is the syllabus here?
Yeah, so syllabus is also mostly the same, but since exams like JEST, TIFR, etc., they cater towards the students who want to go for integrated PhD, the syllabus is slightly more advanced than JAM. JAM is at a typical BSc level, a standard BSc college in India, whatever coursework they offer, JAM test people on that. Whereas JEST is slightly at a higher level. So ideally, if one prepares for JEST well, all the other exams will be included in that syllabus.
So you were telling me that you have been training some students informally.
That's right. Yeah.
So can you talk about that and how you felt?
Sure. Yeah. So the reason I was thinking that we could start a course like this is because over the last year, like I said, I trained some students. It was just informal, and we were doing it combination of online and offline. And as I was doing this, I noticed that in BSc colleges around Mangalore itself, we have a lot of students with good potential and interest. People who are resilient, who will, are willing to take up things that are challenging, and it turns out that with proper training, they can even do well in exams. Yeah, so the majority of students that I trained who wrote JAM qualified it. So with proper training and guidance, which they are not getting in their institutes, they can actually do well in the exams and even in the future.
Okay, so there is definite potential for students around.
Definitely. There are a number of people who join BSc specifically with the interest of pursuing physics, but they don't know exactly how to proceed. Go ahead and do it. So this is something that that can guide you.
Can you also talk about once they get into JAM or JEST, what is awaiting them for them there?
Yeah.
Just a rough idea if
Understood.
students.
So basically, when people go for a BSc or maybe engineering, because these days we have a lot of interest in engineers to change their field of physics.
Right.
There are a number of students who have already decided that they are going to pursue physics, a career in physics. Now, what that usually means, excluding industry and working in a job, etc., there are two possible pathways. One is to be a researcher, another is to be a teacher.
So when you're saying physics, just sorry to interrupt, you mean any basic science or math?
Yeah, of course, yeah, the same thing, chemistry, math, it applies there as well.
Okay.
So there are two possibilities. One is to go for research, and another is teaching. Together, this is called academia.
Yeah.
And usually, it's not really exclusive. Researchers teach, and teachers research, etc.
Yeah.
To do either of these, it is very essential to at least do an MSc first. Even as a teacher, to teach undergraduate in an undergraduate college, etc. Postgraduate degree is essential, at least for the first year. So that part has, there is no question whether to do an MSc or not. It has to be done. Now, people who are interested in research, the next step would be PhD. And these days, to get a faculty post in many of the colleges in India, there too a PhD is essential. Earlier, they just had to clear an exam and they could get a lectureship position, but now most of the colleges demand PhD as well.
Right. So I think just from my experience, even when an institute teaching 11th standard, 12th standard is looking for a candidate, I think even there just or a JAM rank would matter, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So especially postgraduate degree in a good college would go a long way, even to be a teacher in a good institute.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we know what this exam is, and how do you think that students should be trained? And can you talk about our plans of how to?
Definitely. So the thing I noticed is most of these undergraduate institutes, the students they have a wide range of ambitions. Not all of them are planning to pursue sciences. Some of them want a degree in order to do something else later. And the coursework is also constructed in order to serve the average student. So the coursework, even though it is a typical standard physics coursework, they don't spend a lot of time on problem solving, on critical thinking, or any of those things. And it's usually like there are derivations, concepts that people learn, and then they just reproduce that in the exams. That kind of a training is not sufficient, first of all, to qualify these exams, and then for a career in academia. So some extra training is necessary, and that is what we aim to provide here. And so our focus in the classes will, of course, first to get the concepts very clear, and then we will be solving a lot of problems. So learning through problem solving is something that is not usually done for them, which is what we can do.
Okay. And can you give an example, like some topic which you taught, say whatever, electrodynamics?
Yeah.
How would you teach it differently from what they
Understood. So electrodynamics, I would rather let's talk about quantum mechanics. That's a better idea.
Sure.
So usually in BSc, quantum mechanics is taught in a very
Philosophical.
not philosophical. Philosophical would have been better actually, but it's taught in a given kind of way. As in, it's as if it was God given. Like quantum mechanics, somehow there was a stone tablet somewhere where all the quantum mechanics was given to us.
Right.
These are the postulates, these are the observations, and you see it works.
Yes.
Which is fine, kind of. But for students who are actually curious, it's a good idea to start from the ground level. What are the observations? What are the facts? What are the experiments that created the necessity for a new theory? So we start from the experiments that shows, okay, so there is something new going on here that we did not know earlier. There is some new kind of mechanics, which is not classical mechanics. So we start from there and we see this new theory emerging. Then on the side, we realize that for this new theory, we need new kind of math. So things like linear algebra, Fourier series transforms, differential equations, obviously. So these topics we will introduce on the side with the goal of learning quantum mechanics. So then, by the time we are done with it, not only does the student understand what quantum mechanics is, they are convinced that it is true. and they know how to apply.
Okay. So you're saying that we will start from scratch and they don't really just a basic level background is enough,
Exactly, yeah.
and we
Yeah.
will build up upon that,
Exactly.
and we will really deliver the content.
That's right. So no prerequisite knowledge is assumed other than maybe basic calculus and math for first and second PU.
Okay.
Differentiation, simple integration, little bit of algebra, that's all.
The training you received
Yeah.
versus the training you wish you had received.
Huh.
So,
Understood.
yeah.
So you mean in the
For these competitive exams, when you
Understood, yeah.
prepared for just and jam.
correct.
Yeah.
So the typical training that is given in coaching institutes across the country is geared mostly towards the competitive exams, like specifically with the competitive exams in mind,
Okay.
and nothing beyond that.
Okay.
So you are taught what is barely essential to qualify the competitive exams.
Okay.
And that sometimes, as we know, competitive exams are not a proper test of a student's caliber.
Right.
You can qualify it, but still there will be gaps to be filled.
Correct.
And although it is a good thing to qualify the exams, later you are going to do an MSc.
Yeah.
We should be able to, understand the syllabus there. So it requires a certain kind of training.
Mhm.
And this kind of training is something that, first of all, will be very inspiring for the student. It's not that it is very difficult to do this as well. In fact, I believe that it is better to actually do it in a proper way through, proper like I said earlier,
Yeah.
build it through the ground level experiments, etc. It will be more easier for the student to do this rather than remembering a bunch of stuff that will allow them to qualify the exams.
It will also go a long way, won't it? Like,
Definitely, yeah. Exactly. So even after the exam, even during their MSc, etc., once they get the knack of how to actually learn physics, how to make sense of it, and how to remember things even, right? Because people think of formula as just disconnected bits of information,
Right.
whereas in your mind that you can form a connection between all of this. So they get a feel and a knack for how to actually do it, which will help them in the future as well.
Okay. Nice. So CFL's philosophy has always been for students to really enjoy and understand the subject. Once they do that, their results in competitive exams automatically follow. And we have seen it work in 11th and 12th. And we are extending the same philosophy for undergraduate. So with our amazing set of teachers who really make students appreciate and understand the subject, I'm sure we can do a great job there, and students will perform really well in the competitive exams, that is JAM and JES, and that will help them not only in the competitive exams but also in their postgraduate studies. It will build a really strong foundation. So we hope to see you soon at CFAL.